She is an award-winning promotional marketing strategist, a speaker, an author, and a mom. And yes, mom is a real title, who is making waves in the personal development industry one aha moment at a time. I'm delighted to welcome and have a conversation with Jae Rang of Aha Moment Journal on Small Talk. I'm your host, Javid Khan. Jae Rang, welcome to Small Talk.
Thanks, Javid.
Hey, Jae, I'm really excited for you to be on the show. You are an author of an amazing little book called Aha Moments.
Yes.
And there are a number of things in your book, but one thing that I wanted to focus in on for this Small Talk show is around people in our world, in our lives, making choices. And you talk about conscious or unconscious choices.
Right.
Very interesting conversation today, Jae. Want to hear that from you, please.
I started studying with Bob Proctor. I don't know if you're familiar with Bob Proctor. He is the author of You Were Born Rich, and he was one of the famed philosophers in The Secret. And I started working with him and studying under him in the late 90s, and he opened up a whole world to me about a universal principle. And when you start studying universal principle, you start being a little more accountable. And one of the things that became glaringly obvious to me is the fact that our life is a culmination of the choices that we make, whether they're unconscious or conscious. So the unconscious ones will be probably, to do with our habits or our conditioning. And you know as well as I do, Javid, that your conditioning is about 80% in place by the time you're sick. So, that the 20% is kind of a top up. But between what we're doing in habits, not really realizing that we're making a lot of choices, we also are making a lot of choices consciously. One of the things that I see is people will say, oh, I have to go to work in the morning. And I'll say, no, you're choosing to go to work. And they kind of laugh and they go, no, I have to go to work. Like, how else am I going to pay the bills? And when we really look at that, they're choosing to go to work because of the lifestyle that they want. You can choose not to go to work, but there are repercussions to not going to work. So choosing to go to work is probably a good thing. When we drill down, we find that there are so many small choices that we make throughout the day. Like somebody will say, oh, I can't go to your event. And in my mind, I'm thinking, you're choosing not to come to my event. It sounds harsh, but in reality, they are making a choice to say, I would prefer to do this action over that action, attend this event over that event. And, the same with responding to something bigger like the economy. The economy tanks and we go, well, what am I supposed to do? I can't find work. I can't find business. We're choosing not to. There are lots and lots of options that we can exercise. We can retrain. There's lots of things we can do. But unconsciously or consciously, we're choosing to allow the economy to dictate what we're doing. That puts us in a victim role, right? When we step back and go, life is a culmination of choices. And each moment of every day, we're making a choice, how to wear our hair, what toothpaste to use, what time to get up in the morning. We start to realize just how much control we actually have over our lives.
So now, a couple of points here. You talk about people making choices. And it's conscious or unconscious. So what, for the audience who's watching this or they're listening to the audio podcast version of the show, and by the way, Jae's contact information is on the screen and it's on the podcast information summary screen for you. So please reach out to her. She is the author of Aha Moments. You can go to ahamoments.ca or .com, Jae?
It's actually Aha Moment Journal. Yeah.
ahamomentjournal.ca, .com.
.com.
So I wanted to go back to this conversation about choosing. For the audience members, what are certainly some very quick insights, tips that they can use right away after watching this show or listening to the podcast version? What can they do right away to change that, as you would say, maybe attitude?
It is an attitude. It is a shift in perspective. And that's actually what the Aha Moment Journal is all meant to do. It's everyday situations. It kind of sheds a different light on it. I think it's awareness. There's when you're aware of something, then you can change it. You can't change something that you're not aware of. So when you begin to question yourself rather than I have to, you're saying I choose to in any circumstance. That awareness will begin to shift your perspective and realize that everything that you are doing is a series of choices.
Okay, Jae Rang, you are the author of the Aha Moment Journal. You
Right.
also run Jae Associates. So we always ask this question of our guests that we have conversation with for the first time, and the question is the following: if you had an opportunity, Jae, to have a conversation with someone living or past, who would it be?
Oh my gosh, there are so many people that I listen to and follow. Hepatitis.
Now, why that individual?
That individual. Well, I don't think he recorded anything of himself. I think that a lot of people, there are transcripts of his work. He is probably one of the original people when you trace back that saw that the fact that the universe operates by law, that it operates in order, and that there's a system that that we can plug into. I've studied so many people, but I mean, when you really go back, that to me is kind of my first awareness as to the first sighting, first realization of universal law. She's somebody I'd really love to sit with.
Awesome. Folks, it's Jae Rang. Her contact information is there. Jae, thank you very much for being here on Small Talk.
Javin, thank you. It was wonderful.
Thank you to Jae Rang of Aha Moment Journal for joining me on Small Talk. You can also listen to the show as part of our podcast series. Now it's your turn. Please comment, subscribe, and share. If you've got a topic you'd like to discuss on the show, please give me a call or send me an email. We'll talk with you next time.